Perry Stone, this is Daryl Waters. And I just, excuse me, I just wanted to make a few comments on your sermon last Tuesday night, Halloween night. Very appropriate. I didn't know some of that stuff you talked about. That was very interesting, especially the part where you said that, the presence of God, a psychologist, Christian psychologist, showed you this, told you this in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, of all places. That reminds me of, I think you know who I'm talking about. And how that you said that was really amazing, that the presence of God could open you up to any kind of intimacy. That's hard to imagine, but if that's the way it is, that's the way it is. There's nothing wrong on God's part. But, you talked about people getting pregnant after a move of God. You talked about how that I think you talked like you saw people, teenagers after service making out. Well, I know you can't control what happens outside the building very much, if any. But, and I trust that you do this. Do you do this? If you say no, I pray you start, but I think you probably do. Because I believe your dad was really, really strict on you growing up. As my parents were me. They taught me, unless it's a relative or unless it's a woman that's old enough to be your grandmama or your mama, you don't hug them. I went to schools, Christian schools, that were real strict on that. And so I hope Tommy Bates doesn't even, I've heard him say on some of his TV programs and other services he's been in, I've heard on CD, I've heard him tell the people even to just shake hands. I think in his own church he'd say just shake hands. I guess it's because people could think if the men and women hugged each other and people saw them on TV, they homosexuals think there's homosexuals and lesbians. So he'd tell them to just shake hands, but even in shaking hands, he'd say men with men, women with women. So I hope you have that kind of a rule to say boys hug boys, especially since you're dealing with teenagers. Boys hug boys during your services. You talked about how they all start hugging each other. Boys with boys, girls with girls. So now I'm not saying you don't have a rule. I think you most likely do have that rule. I think most likely you do tell them during off service when they're hugging, before they start hugging, you probably tell them to hug each other. And you probably say boys with boys, girls with girls. If you don't, please start doing that. Pray about that. But I have a feeling you really do tell them boys with boys, girls with girls. Because if they do that, that would cut down on a lot, hopefully. But like I said, you may already be doing that. What they do after service off of your, out of your building, that's, you ain't got much control over that. And I can understand that. God bless.